Hello and welcome. I'm Tom Darwood. On the 7th of November this year, I dropped a letter by hand into my local Labour Party office asking the MP to pass another letter inside that letter to the Prime Minister. The gist of the letter was I said to the Prime Minister, since 1972 I felt prepared to become a future Archbishop of Canterbury. So the letter ended, will you consider appointing me as the future Archbishop of Canterbury? I was not aware until I got home about midday, until I heard the evening news, the astonishing report regarding the present Archbishop of Canterbury having to resign because of something that he should have known about. Now, that was a devastating indictment on what I was trying to say, that I was now ready to become appointed as the future Archbishop of Canterbury. That incident, ladies and gentlemen, alludes to something which Prime Minister Harold Macmillan many years ago said when asked, what do politicians fear the most? He said, events, dear boy, events. So let me bring a close-up picture. I hope you can see that. It'll be on our website. The point is, ladies and gentlemen, I made a mark which was to place that letter through that letterbox exactly 4 or 5 hours before something which I was totally unaware of. That event is very important to allude to something which happened to me in 1972 regarding an article in the Daily Telegraph which endorsed something which I asked God exactly 7 days before the 1st of April 1972. And the prayer was, "Oh Lord, are you directing me to revise or reform the Book of Common Prayer?" That was very distinct, very specific, very exacting. Exactly 7 days later, my father sat beside me as he read the Daily Telegraph, as was the custom in our house, and he would go off into slumber while I read the Daily Telegraph, which I never did. I just looked at the pictures. I was overwhelmed when I saw the main article entirely about the revision of the Book of Common Prayer. I took this humbly and I went on my knees metaphorically before God. I said, "Oh Lord, I'm accepting this as an endorsement in providence that you are guiding me to revise the Book of Common Prayer." And in an instant, an arrow prayer went out and said, "Are you also preparing me to become the future Archbishop of Canterbury?" Because I knew that the Book of Common Prayer was compiled by Archbishop Thomas Cranmer, appointed by Henry VIII, and he turned the Latin rubrics into English. So that arrow prayer was followed by another event of a far more devastating nature, which I'm going to end this talk now. As I pondered regarding the article, it was so emphatic, so clear, so concise, so appropriate, because it related to prayer 7 days earlier. The TV screen I noticed, which was on, my father's watching TV, and then he went off to sleep. And because I was so concentrating on what happened regarding the article in Telegraph, I noticed that the television had gone mute, but there was an outline of a man's silhouette on the screen, and it laboured on there for a good 10 to 20 minutes. And I pondered, well, why don't they just say there's a technical problem or what the net program is? When the silhouette gave way, the program was entirely on the papacy. When I saw that, my heart melted, because what I felt God was saying to me is that God was saying, not in words, but through events again, that I was being prepared to become the future Pope also. So that ends this first talk, ladies and gentlemen. I'll call that "Here endeth the first lesson." Thank you.